Hey everyone, welcome back to week 2 of the anxiety edition of the 100 Days of Happiness Challenge. It's your girl Amy coming to you live and direct from my bedroom. I need to address this quickly, right? So, I know some people will watch these videos and be like, this isn't very professional. She's in her bedroom. And it'll trigger some shit in you of how you think things should be run. And I need to give you a context. This is my 5th year into doing this challenge, and one of the things I do in my life is I give myself permission to have the freedom to be, do, say, think, create, hear, whatever I want, wherever I want, however I want. And when I do that, it gives me freedom. It gives me freedom to show up exactly as I am without having to be something that someone else expects or wants me to be. And it's a really fucking awesome space to play in. So I don't have to look a certain way. I can be messy, just come from the beach, comfortable in my own home. I don't have to speak like generically boring, or as some people may see that as being really awesome, and that's cool too. And I want to share that with people ultimately, how to have this kind of freedom for themselves of not having to play into the box of what anyone, including yourself, has created for yourself. To be able to say, this is the box that I've created, which anxiety is like a box you've created for yourself or you were born with. And you play within these rules. This is how I have to live. And you're rigid as fuck. And that rigidity shows up not just in your mind, but it's in your life. And then it's also in your body. A lot of you will have like back pains, neck pains, knee pains, elbow pains, shoulder pains, all these pains from rigidity because your brain is stuck here. And really what we want to do is we just want to gradually break open that fucking box so you have a mind and a body that is open and able to be more fluid and flexible in the world, so you get to experience it in a way that you choose. Because every single one of us is a creator being. We get to create whatever we want. But a lot of us get stuck in the constructs that were created when we were born. Between born and the age of 7, we are like little beings walking around in hypnosis, where everything that's happening to us programs us into seeing the world as we do today. So we have all these rules and belief systems that we believe are the truth, when really they're just something that someone's taught us, and now that's how we experience the world. And some of you, actually all of you who have come into this challenge, are special. You have this super heightened sense of everything. I would say you're very sensitive to many things. Maybe you've got a heightened sense of hearing, seeing, smelling, feeling. You feel deeply. And that is it's a really big gift. And when it's really, really like open, it can be, and you don't know how to manage it, it can feel like your greatest weakness, which it can feel like the fucking worst thing on earth, because you feel like you don't know how to fucking control it, and it's just, you're under stress constantly, you're reacting in the world, and you don't feel like you have anything solid and grounded and controlled. So what is anxiety to begin with? You've got your technical dictionary, look at it, and there's many different ideas of what it is. Otherwise, if everyone fucking knew, then we wouldn't be having this conversation, because if you know what it is, it's easy to fix, right? Yeah, and it is easy and it's not, like I said in the first video. This is how I'm going to explain it to you, because I like keeping shit really simple. I don't see the point in making things more complex than they have to be. And usually, like, I would assume that you guys have gone out and done your research. You've tried to figure it out. You've watched YouTube videos. You've gone to doctors. You've gone and tried to get someone to explain to you what the fuck it is you're experiencing and how to fix it. And you just can't seem to, right? So I'm trying to keep it real simple, because What's the point of making it really complex when complex hasn't worked? Well, at least that was my experience. I'm like, complex doesn't work, I don't understand you, I'm gonna fucking figure this out myself. I figured it out myself and I'm like, let's keep this shit real simple. Number one, you have, in the Western society, not all society believes we have a nervous system running through our body, okay? And yours at the moment is heightened and very sensitive. And you're living life like a raw nerve. Some on different levels, depending. But you're exposed, you're open, and you feel everything, right? Right? Mock myself. You have this autonomic nervous system, which is really fucking important, because if you didn't have it and it wasn't on, you would die. And it has two parts. You have the sympathetic, which is your fight or flight, you know, your safety, you've got it, you know, your survival system. And then you've got your parasympathetic nervous system, which is like rest and digest, calm and wonderful, and you feel really great. With people who are switched on, and you literally, most people are actually born on, quite sensitive. And in this world, it doesn't fucking help. It just makes you even more like, because there's so much stress of how you're meant to be and live and everything, all right? Rules everywhere. What we want to do is we want to turn down the sympathetic nervous system. We want to train this body that you're in, this amazing, incredible meat sack, that it doesn't have to react or respond in the way that it has. And we want to practice turning up the dial on this beautiful parasympathetic nervous system, so that that vagus nerve, you know, it gets stronger and stronger, so that we can live more in that chilled out, relaxed, life is just great, even when there's shit going on over there, we're good. And the reason is not because you don't have to change as a person, which is kind of not true at the same time, because you kind of do change as a person. Not that there's anything wrong with you, but if you're here not wanting to have to live in anxiety every single day, then you want to change. Not who you are, but just how you play in this world. It's more fun when you're in this relaxed, chilled out state, because from that state, you make such awesome decisions from that state. Whereas if you're on the sympathetic, I've got to fight or flight, you know, you feel in danger, you've got to react, you've got to respond to everybody all the time, because everyone's after you and people are just shit. If you're in that state all the time, it's just it's tiring, it's not fun. And then you feel powerless. And it sucks. And like even me, like for every layer that comes off, there's another layer. Mine even showed up the other day. It was so interesting when I caught myself in it. I was like, wow, you've been caught in the anxiety trap again. It's just showing up in a different way now. Cool. Let that go. And then I won't have to react to it ever again. So I have this presupposition that if I can identify it, if I see it, how my cycle of how I'm reacting to life and to things and all these belief systems, and I get caught up here and I'm like trying to analyze everything. If I catch myself, it's done. It can never, ever come back for that particular one, for that particular trigger, for whatever that belief was. So I talked about for 1 minute every day. And I'll probably put some money on it that 80% of you haven't done that 1 minute every day over the last 7 days. And I know that not everyone's been in the group participating. And I get it, because I didn't either. I didn't do... Which caused me a lot of pain in the long run. When I look back, I'm like, why didn't you just do it? You know why I didn't do it? Because I didn't fucking trust the people that were teaching me. I didn't trust them. I didn't believe that it would work. And I had to do it my own way. So if you're doing that, sweet. You can do that. But there is this thing that is in us, and you will wake up with it on. Your heightened sense of safety, is on at the beginning of the day before you've even gone out. Yeah, you might wake up and be like, no, I'm good today. I feel really great. Yay, I'm not thinking lots. I'm going to go out of my day. And then suddenly, boom, it hits you and then you're in anxiety again. You have to do that pre-work every single day. You have to start teaching your body in the morning to come down a level. And it looks sometimes like manic thoughts, feeling like aggressive, feeling angry, feeling sickly, feeling shaky, not like feeling like when you're in your head trying to escape your head. In those moments when you're up here thinking, analyzing, how am I supposed to do it, how am I supposed to do it, where am I supposed to go, and that moment is your opportunity to be like, I'm in my head, oh my God, this is where it's all been created from. And that's when you stop, you're like, and it won't feel good. It won't. You will resist it, it will feel upsetting, and you'll be like, I don't want to do this, and you'll feel a lot of energy. If you feel a lot of energy and you don't want to do it, you don't want to sit there for that 1 minute, fucking punch a pillow. Get rid of that energy that is pent up, because it's like, ah! And if you sit there, it will just agitate you more, right? Some of you will have the experience where you try and sit down and you'll try and like sit in meditation or just to breathe, and you'll be like, no! And you'll just like, you just want to jump out of your body. In those moments, go punch your pillow, go punch your bed, go let out, do star jumps, do anything, dance fucking ridiculously, do anything in that moment to release that energy to shift your state. And once you're out of that state and you've come back down to this kind of, maybe you're laughing at yourself. I used to do the most ridiculous shit just to get myself out of that state. I would go and move my body really crazy, dance crazy, yell to move all that energy out. I would be cracking up laughing because I'm like, I am such a fucking retard. And then I would practice getting into that state. I'd be like, okay, 1 minute. And it wasn't always easy. At the very beginning, I was like, oh, get me off this mat, because I used to put the mat down to be like, all right, I have to sit on this mat for 1 minute. And over time, it got easier. And over time, with practice, my body began to respond really well. And I just want to share with you some of those experiences so that when it happens, you understand what the hell's going on. It even happened to me the other day. I had to go and learn something, and I hate sitting down and learning stuff, right? I've still got this resistance of wanting to move. And I went to I was listening to it, and I didn't want to sit there. I was like, I was like a kid, like being forced to sit down in a school and not wanting to listen and wanting to go do stuff. And I was like, this is my anxiety controlling me. I'm not controlling me right now. I want to have freedom. If I really want to have freedom, I want to have the freedom to be able to sit here and listen to something. Because me at the moment going, I don't want to, is actually me not having freedom to be able to do something that I want to do. So I put my earphones in and I started listening to this video that I was for learning from, and I wanted to move. I wanted to, my whole system was like, and then I started breathing. I just sat up and I was just like, and usually you have an emotional shift of some sort, whether that looked like anger or you might have a cry, which heaps of you are still resistant to because crying's really bad. Please, crying is no different than going for a wee. Once you've done it, you feel good. You're like, oh, sweet, cried, I feel good now. It's like no fucking big deal. Whereas at the beginning, when I used to cry, it's like, no tears. It means I'm weak. It means I'm useless. It means I'm going to get stuck there forever. Now if I'm going to cry, I'm like, oh, hold on. I feel good now. Continue on with my day. It's no different than going for a wee. So when you're sitting there, you might be like, have all this tension in your body, don't want to be there, and let it happen. Have a sock. I don't want to be there. This is so, I really got to go into your story and do it really fucking well. And then you'll be like, and then you'll probably just laugh at yourself. You're like, oh my God, listen to me. It's hilarious. I'm sounding like I'm 5, which is probably what's running your program. Anyway. So, where was I at? The 1 minute thing's really important. Now the sharing in the group, you don't have to if you don't want to, because you might be a very private person. I get it. Privacy is safety. You know, being seen is scary. Being seen means the possibility of someone making you wrong for saying, doing whatever you're doing. That's why we use the hashtag NAP. in the group. So you can say whatever the heck you want to without someone giving you their opinion or their perspective on what they think you are experiencing. Or trying to fix you as if there's something wrong with you, because there's not. Which may not make sense right now, but it will. This week, again, continue with the gratitude, because gratitude is just the friggin' shit. But this week, just notice in your body, there is stuff that you just won't even notice that you're doing. Because there's layers upon layers of the stuff, right? But just, probably the first thing I would do is like, am I trying to fix my anxiety from a space of anxiety? If you're in a state of panic, do not listen to your brain. That's when you need to stop. You need to stop, come back and be like, even though I'm feeling like everything's falling apart, I'm not feeling safe, I feel agitated, I feel whatever it is that you experience when you've got anxiety, we'll call it anxiety, we'll just label it that. Come back to breath. And you've heard it a million times before. I heard it a million times before I just realized how important it was. Like, yeah, because if you're like me, you need direct experience of understand and have that drop in moment. So you kind of have to trust a little bit at the beginning that it will take you somewhere. And then once you start applying it, you will have that drop in moment where it's like, now I have the direct experience of what these people were talking about. And then when you have that, it just makes sense. And you feel more empowered and awesome, and you're like, fuck yeah, I got it. If you're someone who's experiencing depression as well, that's so normal, because for me, this is how I see how my depression came around. I was living in such a state of anxiety for so long, suppressing and repressing who I was, that it just started to make me depressed, because I wasn't expressing, and anything that I was expressing was in reaction rather than by choice. And that just creates, like, if you're not letting, like, it's like if you have to poo, right? If you hold that poo in, it goes hard and it's sore and it comes out in bits and it's painful to pass and it sucks. And it's the same as emotions. If you've held it in for so long, you're going to have to go through a process sort of going the other end for a little while of letting it out. And then once you've done that, you come back to this kind of nice little flow of like this, rather than way at this end and way at the end of highs and lows. And you sort of just start doing this ping pong till it comes a little bit, the pendulum is just here. That's a cool place to play, and it's like, oh, I feel emotion and I feel the other way of emotion. And the good thing about, if you can experience extreme anxiety and extreme depression, you have the ability to experience the absolute opposite of extreme joy and awesomeness. Also, through like coming up in the next however long we've got, like 13 weeks or so, I'm going to have people come in who are incredibly good at what they do when it comes to, I don't like calling it, they're kind of coaches, I guess. We're all kind of coaches, but they're a little bit more magical than that. I've got one of my greatest friends and one of my greatest teachers. She has experienced psychosis. She's been in hospital. She's been hearing voices. She's had a drug addiction. She's like running $1 million business now. She's incredibly successful and incredibly intelligent in what she does, and she will be coming in to speak as well. I've got other coaches who, people who do hypnosis or people who work on the body. I've got so many guests that I'm going to bring along who we will just have a relaxed conversation like this, so you can have a listen and take on board the ideas and things that make sense for you and will support you in your journey. Because when we share these things that people don't normally talk about openly, then we don't feel so fucking retarded, and that's probably not the politically correct word. We don't feel so alone. And then we also start believing that there is a way out of the experience we're currently having. Like, trust me, I want to shortcut the pain for you, to allow you to go through the process of what you're going through, but to know and feel safe while you're doing it, and to realize that there's another side to there is a way out, and you've just got to be courageous, brave, which you already are, or else you wouldn't have come into this challenge, and you have to trust a little bit. And for a lot of you, you may have known me for a long time now. I have no agenda. I've never had an agenda. This is my 5th year of doing this, fucking purely because I want to serve. I've never made a dime off this challenge. This challenge will always be free. And for me, it's my way of giving back and having 100% trust with people, because that's what I needed, and hopefully it will help you in some way. So remember this week, what did I say? I have to go back and look and see what I said. Keep doing your gratitude every day, whether you do it in the group or not. When you want to come out of hiding, come join us in the group because it's pretty fucking cool. Hashtag nap when you want to speak your truth. Try not to engage with here's an observation. When you see what they've written in the comments, realize that sometimes that's exactly what they need to actually hear for themselves. If someone wants to give you advice, it's usually what they need. Do your 1 minute, and if you can go longer, fantastic. If you're doing meditations, fantastic. And just observe yourself when you get into panic. If you're starting to fixate on things, that's when you need to get still. And if you can practice getting still when you want to go panicked, you'll become so powerful. And it's a skill that you have to practice and learn. Anyway, I hope that helped you. Remember, get in the group as well, because I get in there regularly and just spout off shit that comes out my mouth sometimes that seems to be useful for people to help you think about things in a different way, and that way I don't have to make hour-long videos here, because who the hell wants to listen to me for an hour? No. Anyway, questions, ask them in the group. This is an interactive thing, man. I get to know you and I can help you better in whatever way that I can. That is all. Have an amazing week.